Hello and welcome back. In the last few sections, we've been looking at the filtering aspect of our dish and essentially filter by category, right? And we've completed that feature. But right now, what's happening is, let's say if I head over back to my landing page, and which is quite static in nature, and come back in here again, it actually takes some time for the page to load up. Okay, and I want to make sure that we actually indicate to the user that we are loading by actually introducing a kind of spinner, right? So generally, when a web page or the website takes a little bit of time to load the resources, it indicates to the user that there is something happening in the background, and he has to essentially wait a little while. Okay, so I'm going to head over to Google. I'm going to look for a package called npm react-spinners. Okay, all right, let me get the first link in here, and let's see what we get here in terms of documentation. Installation is quite straightforward as always, and in here they give us some interesting aspects of how to use these spinners. Okay, so they have different kinds of spinners. Actually, they have a bar loader, the beat loader, and different kinds of stuff, ring loader, right? So I'm not sure if they have any examples in here. So essentially what it does is it gets the clip loader from the React Spinners clip loader, okay? And we set the loading to true, and whenever the loading is true, then we essentially get the clip loader in here, okay? So let's see how we can go ahead and incorporate it in our Indie Cafe app, okay? So I thought there might be some examples here. If I do, yeah, let's go to the demo page. Probably it'll give us an idea in terms of how each of the loaders actually looks. So this is the bar loader, beat loader, bounce loader, different kinds of loaders here, all right? And I'm not sure if I click on this, will that show anything at all? And they also have the speed multiplier here. If I do 3, yeah, I think 1 was good enough. Yeah, 1 was good enough. 2 is too rapid. Okay, super. So I think let's go ahead and take a look at this and how we can go ahead and actually include this in our project, all right? And I'll head over back to our code base. And right here in Indie Cafe, I'm going to go ahead and split the terminal. In fact, open another terminal. I'm going to say npm install react-spinners. Okay. I'm going to pause here for a while. Might take a while. Alright, so this is actually installed right now, and hopefully it does not interfere with our other process. Let me go ahead and exit from here. Okay, so yeah, I think we're still running good here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and create a spinner for our app. And because it's going to be used in several places, it makes sense to actually have a standard implementation for this. So I'm going to go ahead and inside of components, create a new folder called spinner. Okay. Alright. And inside of spinner, I'm going to create a new file called spinner.js. I'll probably call it app spinner, just to avoid name conflicts. App spinner.js. Okay. And this is going to be a regular functional component. Alright. And what I'm going to do here is import one of the spinners. I'm going to be using a particular loader, and if you look back here right now, this has multiple loaders, and I would be interested in a particular loader called scale loader. Where is that? Let me look for it. Scale. Yeah, that's the one. I would be looking for this one. Okay. So this is the radius, this is the margin. Yeah, this is the one that I'd be interested in. Right. So let's go ahead and do that. So inside of here, I'm going to say import scale loader from React spinners / scale loader. All right. This is going to only be showing scale loader right now, and I'm just going to say render spinner. I'm just trying to stick to our conventions. So I'm going to define a new function that's going to say render spinner. Okay. Then for now, that's not going to take anything in terms of inputs. And in here, I'm going to say return. This is going to be returning a div. Alright. And inside of this div, we will go ahead and return a scale loader. Okay. Scale loader, yeah. And we'll just close that here. Okay. And this is going to take a few properties here. And one of them being loading. Loading. Yeah. And I need to set that to true in order to trigger the spinner itself. And I will specify a size here of 200. We can essentially tweak that a bit. I'm going to say color is equal to, this is going to be a slightly orangish color. Let me close it with another curly brace. Yeah, that's it. That should do that. And in here, I'm going to go ahead and call the render spinner. Alright, so we have a spinner ready. And I'll also go ahead and make this spinner scale spinner, the color for the scale spinner here. Let's go ahead inside of app.css, inside of app.css, and to the colors. I'm going to say this is going to be primary scale spinner, scale spinner, yeah, and this is going to be this particular color. Okay, super. Oh, something F378 was not. Yeah, that's the one. I think we need to make that change here, in here as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say this is going to be var of hyphen primary hyphen scale hyphen spinner. Alright, super. And while we're here, we'll also go ahead and give some styling to the spinner. Okay, so in here I'm going to say, I'm going to define a class here, and let's say class name is equal to spinner, and I also need to create a class for that CSS class, right? So I'll head over to UI. Okay, actually the spinner should be in the UI component, by the way. So let's go ahead and drag this. That was a mistake from my side. Yes, I need to move it. Alright, and inside of spinner, I'm going to go and create spinner.css. Okay, and in here, I'm going to create a class for spinner. And this is going to be having a display flex. Okay, and with a justify content of center. Right, align items of center, so it's going to be right in the middle of our screen whenever it essentially shows up, and it's going to be having a width. I think let's not specify any width for now. Let's not do that. I think we'll come back to it in a bit later. So we can also have specify any background colors here either. And I'll also say text align center. Just say, I'm not sure if there's going to be any text there. Anyway, text align. Okay, let's go ahead and not do that. Okay, so right now we have the spinner ready, and we need to go ahead and import the spinner class. Okay, and say, in fact, we should actually make it app.spinner.css. Yeah, let's go ahead and change the name, and just to be consistent, now we're going to make things non-standard here. Alright, there we go. So let's go ahead and save this. Super, we are in business. And the next thing we want to do is we need to essentially incorporate this in our catalog page, right? So let's go ahead and go to the catalog page now. And in here, I'm going to go ahead and essentially import the spinner, right? Import app spinner, okay, from one level above. Okay, let's get rid of this. That's going to be inside of UI, okay, and then we have the app spinner, all to spinner and then the app spinner. Alright, super. And so how are we going to use this? That's the question, right? So in order to use this, let's go ahead and use some state. And I'm going to say, I'm going to declare a state of, let's say, loading and set loading. Right? And that's going to be having a state of false to begin with, right? Because we're not loading. And every time we go ahead and invoke an API, we want to essentially set loading to true. And so it starts spinning now, and the moment it comes back with the data, we have to go ahead and set the loading to false. I'm going to go to the very end and say set loading to false. Super. And even in case of error, we need to make sure we are setting the loading to false here also. And then what we're going to do here is we'll need to do a similar thing for other stuff as well. This is the init part, and then we have the get filter dishes, right? So let's go ahead and do that as well. Yeah, right here. So I'm going to say set loading to true, and I'm going to go ahead and say set loading to false at the end of it when essentially everything is done. Set loading to false, and same here as well, set loading to false. Super. And the question now is we have to invoke the component itself, right? So how do we go about doing that? So let's head over to our render component method, and that's going to be somewhere. Yeah, this is render catalog, right? So in here, I'm going to have a conditional logic, and I'm going to say if loading is true, okay, and I need the app spinner to be being shown, okay, so I'm going to say app spinner and close it like so. Interesting, there is, alright, not here. It had, right below the layout. So right here, before the section starts, okay. Let's see if we can get it right here. Yeah, that's where it should be. Super. Alright, so fingers crossed, guys. Let's see if it actually gives us the desired result. I'll close this for now, and let me go out to the landing page, come back here again. Yeah, we still don't see anything. Okay, ideally should have seen that. Okay, so I think what we need to do there is it has to be a little more conditional in nature. So what I'm going to do here is head over back to IndieCafe. I'm going to say if loading is true, okay, then I'm going to render the app spinner. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and render this particular component here, which is a section. So let me find the end of the section, and that's going to be here. I'm going to go ahead and put the curly brace here. Super. So hopefully this will do the trick for us. Let's see. I'll go back again and come back to the browse again. Right now, yeah, it doesn't show that actually. Interesting. And there is a brief time where it gives a black screen, but it doesn't necessarily show that. So let's see what's happening. Alright, looks like we have some issue here. Let's go head over to the app spinner and see what exactly is the issue. Okay. So in here, what we're seeing is we have not closed this properly. So essentially we missed a closing brace here. So that is definitely an issue. And if I go back now, let's say go in here, see a few errors in here, need to get rid of them. Let's go in here. Yeah, we get the spinner here. Okay, super. So yeah, and then we get the loading, and the images of course load a little later. We will also have a fix for that going forwards. But first thing is we need to fix these errors right now. I'm seeing a few errors with respect to this. Let's head over to the catalog.js quickly, and in here I'm going to specify for the display dishes we don't have, when we are mapping over the dishes, we don't have the key property set, and that's what it's warning us about. And this is going to be obviously dish underscore ID. Okay, super. And similarly, we need to do it here as well, because we have one for filter dishes and one for the regular dishes as well. So I'm going to say dish.id and that should do that for us. Okay, super. Now it is not essentially throwing that error right now. But however, if we go in here, we also get some error. Not sure what this is about. It says something to do with the, I think we're referring this as class instead of class name, and by React semantics we should be using this. Okay, let's head over to the landing page and see where exactly we're having this issue. Head over to the landing page folder in landing page.js. Let's see if you're actually having class somewhere, and it has to be exact. Okay, so I'm going to choose this, or is it this? No results. Was it in the menu? By the way, class thing. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, right here. There's quite a few of them actually. Okay, so let me go ahead and change them in bulk. I'm going to say Control D, select all of them. I think we kind of selected everything. So I'll go to the end and just inject the name, literal. Okay, now it should be essentially seeing that the error would be gone there. Yeah, there we go, no errors there. Super. So we are looking in good shape here. We got the browse component up and running. We got the spinner, and yeah, so we have a lot of things happening here. And the next thing we want to do here is essentially we want to see, if we actually go by filter category, the spinner should be showing as well. Let's see. Yeah, it does show. Super. Oops, what happened? It got overwritten. Alright, ideally this should be actually showing up as well, right? Interestingly, that's also getting overwritten. Okay, I think we may have to fix that. I think we'll take a quick pause here. We've come a long way, and the next thing we want to do is how do we go ahead and look at the add to cart button here. So right now if I click this, it probably errors out or doesn't do anything at all. It doesn't do anything right now. Yeah. So we want to make sure we add some event handling to the add to cart button. Okay, so that's going to be in the next lecture, and of course we'll also look at this aspect where it doesn't stay checked, right? Okay, so take a pause here. I'll be back soon.